this was the that we came up with. This shoot was so much fun, and I almost got arrested, and it was great.
All right, so you're gonna have to talk about almost getting arrested.
You are now listening to the Best in Boudoir podcast.
Please remember, this show is about boudoir photography. Every episode will likely contain descriptions of nudity. The images featured in the video version of this podcast may also contain nudity. None of our shows will be suitable for sensitive listening. In this episode, I talk with Spencer Charles about how music permeates his life. Welcome to the Best in Boudoir podcast. We have on our very first episode a very special guest, Spencer Charles. Spencer has been featured on the Best in Boudoir podcast, I think up there in the highest amount of any photographer I think we've been. I'm constantly choosing his photos. Really appreciate his work, and it's a great opportunity to get the chance to speak with him today. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Appreciate that, man.
All right, so we'll just get right into it and go into the 10 questions segment. Okay. And first question is real simple. Who are you? Can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Spencer Charles. I'm a photographer, writer, creative from Newark, New Jersey, currently based in Atlanta, Georgia.
Right. And so boudoir has a lot of different meanings to different people. You ask somebody, you get different answers. What does boudoir mean to you?
Just intimate photos. I think it's mostly people like recognize it, like like the in the bedroom type of shots. But it doesn't necessarily have to be like in my opinion, it doesn't need to be a bedroom. I just think it's really intimate photos.
Yeah. All right. And so how did you get started in photography or boudoir, whichever?
So I got started in photography kind of by mistake. I was interning at this magazine company, and I was interning at the magazine company, but I was in the music department, and like I would cover like concerts and stuff, and they would only give me like one press pass, so I had to like get a camera to take photos of the shows, just to go with my articles that I was writing. So that was the whole reason like for getting a camera, and then I think I got started like actually just taking photos because they would send, it was like a street, like a street culture magazine. So they would send like streetwear brands would send like free clothes to the office. So I would like take them home and just like shoot them with my friends, mainly my friend Sky. I would like make her like put on the clothes, and I would just like take photos of her in them and would put them on Tumblr, and they just started going viral on Tumblr. And I was like, oh, cool. Maybe I should start taking more photos. That's really how I got into photography. It was like Tumblr.
Yeah.
And then I guess boudoir. I guess like while like posting like photos on Tumblr, people started reaching out to me and asking me to take photos of them. And I think just someone asked me to do this type of shoot, and I did it, and I just really really loved it. And the response I got from it, it was like maybe this is a talent I have. I should stick with it. So that's kind of how that started.
Yeah. That's really great. So you just kind of fell into it through company being cheap.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's great. So what's the one thing you love about what you do now?
I love meeting people, just like vibing, because like I said, to me boudoir photography is like just about intimacy, and just like I kind of feel like my photo shoots are almost like therapy sessions, not just for like my client or whoever I'm shooting or working with, but for me also, because like it's filled with a lot of conversation and just a lot of like vulnerability, and just like
Yeah.
So I think that's one of my favorite parts is just like taking like those like one-on-one like type of like photos of someone and like being able to create because a lot of what I do is like it's not as like technical. I'm like I don't really not well when I do these type of photos, I don't really go into it like too pre-planned. I try to just like work with what's around me and like create a vibe off the other person. So I find that to be just like I don't know, really therapeutic to me. Just like these photo sessions, just creating. So that's probably my favorite part. Other
Yeah,
than, yeah, just other than the freedom to just like be able to support myself off of doing photography. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely feel that way about Boudoir and like the therapeutic sense that really resonates.
yeah.
So in that way, what kind of inspires you to do the work that you do? Like, what's your motivation?
Um, my initial motivation was music. Because I started out wanting to recreate 70s album covers. So it was like when I started taking photos, like what do I want my photos to look like? And I was like, Ohio players. That's what I want my photos to look and feel like. So initially my inspiration was music. And I was like, I want these photos to look how that sounds, like jazz or something. It's like so. I mean, music is probably my biggest inspiration in life. Period. So
Hmm.
that my inspiration behind like aesthetically, my inspiration behind like the photos. It all kind of comes from music. But I guess the motivation to like keep taking photos is I don't know. I guess they're when people I don't know the way people react to my work when they like reach out and tell me that like they're inspired or something or how much they love something and it inspired them to do this or do that. That's a motivator for me to keep going and keep, putting art out in the world.
Yeah. So, like, we all love the art and the work, but what's one of the one things that really annoys you or that you really hate about it?
Uh Time, like that I don't know, maybe everything about time, like maybe not having enough time to like work on stuff as much as I do because of like other stuff in life going on, or maybe not having enough time to like sit and edit or being rushed to get something back to a client or people not showing up on time and like hours late and rescheduling and then the amount of time I have to put into like not actually creating but like the marketing myself as a brand and reaching out to this and set pre-planning the amount of time that takes. So time is literally my least favorite thing about everything, the process.
Cool. So, what is it that you need, like an absolute must-have for you to do your work or your best work? That can be like your gear, the mood, anything.
Uh I would say it's natural light. I shoot primarily with natural light, so I'm like that's the biggest thing I need in order to shoot. Um, but I've recently been doing a lot more studio shoots and stuff and playing with like, different lighting equipment and stuff. So I don't know if I can say that anymore. Some music. If it's like completely silent in a shoot, I'm like, all right, this is weird. I'm gonna turn my phone on and I put music there. But no, so probably music. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that coming from your earlier answers.
Yeah.
All right. And so now we're going to go into the five photos.
Cool. Okay. So about the first one I sent.
Yes.
Let me start with that one. So
Yeah.
um this black and white image. This is a image of my friend Brittany. She's an art director, just an amazing artist in general. But we collaborated on this series. It's called Blacker Than God. I have it's like 9 images in the whole series. And they're all kind of like black and white, like this harsh contrast. um type of feel. So that the series was inspired by there's a I don't know if he's Swedish or Danish or something, but there's a photographer in Europe. His name is like Thierry Legou or Legau. I'm totally botching his name, but he's an amazing photographer, and he had this photo series called. He had this book called Soul, and when I was younger, I saw the movie Belly with DMX and Nas that Hype Williams did. And if you remember the scene where like when they came back from the club and they walked into uh Tommy's house, DMX's house, and had like all like the artwork on the wall. The
Yeah.
artwork was from that photographer from his series Soul, and it's been like my favorite photo series like forever. So that series inspired this series called Blacker Than God, and the title of the series is really just like I think like I heard like a song once, and I don't know, like the term Blacker Than God in terms of like the skin, like of like her
Hmm.
skin being like so dark, in reference like to God's skin being black. Um, that was really just kind of like the meaning behind it, and just like the beauty and the elegance of black skin.
Yeah, I saw some of your remarks on that movie. Belly was it.
Yeah,
It is just a visually stunning movie, and
visually
like
like
yeah,
one
that opening scene when they're walking through the
with the blue and they
clubs.
got
Yeah,
the it has the
man,
acapella
I
of the
watched that.
old song. I was like that visually changed. The acting in the whole movie is so horrible, but that scene, that with the blue and the In Vogue
Yeah,
playing, that scene changed my life because I was like, I don't know what it is.
man.
The fact that they chose the acapella version too instead of like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know that entire thing.
No,
But
I watch that intro like, once a month
the,
maybe.
that
Just like you said, I was like, man, I need to be able to do that.
yes, yeah, just man, I don't know. Hype Williams was he snapped with that, and
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Moving on to the next photo.
Let me open that one. Oh, this is okay, lady. So I had the opportunity to shoot an album cover for amazing artist named Roman John Arthur. He's signed to Wonderland Records, Janelle Monae's record label. Um, and we came up with this concept he wanted for an EP called Okay Lady, and the concept he wanted three women nude um on like a river. So this was the concept we came up with. This shoot was so much fun, and I almost got arrested, and it was great.
All right. So you're gonna have to talk about almost getting arrested.
All right, so what happened was it was the models, me, and art director. We went out there like 6 in the morning, um, and we were shooting, and then I don't know. Eventually, I don't know why it didn't dawn on us that like it's illegal to be nude in public, and this is a public uh, area because
Like how public? Like people were walking by or like
I
people
mean
could walk by?
we got there like mad early, so it was at the Roswell Mills or something like that. And it's a park, it's like not a park, but like families go there every once in a while. I mean, but also I mean it's Atlanta, so there's photo shoots everywhere going on. Like doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Didn't, but like we got there like mad early, so I didn't think nothing of it. But of course, around like 7:30, we're like wrapping up shooting, and it's like families jogging, women pushing a stroller, and she calls the cops, and the cops come like, "Oh, all of y'all getting arrested for indecent exposure," um, and we're like, "Wait, we're working with a record label." And the funniest part is, so the art director, my homie Josh, he calls someone at the label like, "Hey, we're about to get arrested, um, shooting Roman's cover." No, and they're like, did y'all get the shot though? And
Right, the important information.
like, yeah, we got the shot. He was like, all right, cool. I'll bail out if you need. All right,
Uh,
cool. But luckily, we didn't go to jail. They just wanted to scare us. They
right.
said, get out of here. Don't ever come back. So I'm banned from this place in Roswell. Funny because throughout, like, since then, I've had multiple like clients like hit me up and ask if I can shoot them at this place, and I'm like,
Right.
hey, I can't go there. I'm not allowed back there.
So
I
you
can't
you
go
think
there.
that they really banned you, like they took down your information and stuff,
No,
or
no,
you
I'm
just
pretty
don't
sure.
want to find out?
I don't want to find out. I'm pretty sure I can
Right.
go back. I don't even look the same. I had no hair then. I had
Yeah.
like short hair when I shot this. So it was like I'm pretty sure I can go back and they're not gonna be like, this looks like the kid that was here 4 years ago. I'm pretty
Spencer
sure
Charles, you're under arrest.
right. I'm pretty sure I can, but I just I don't want to
Yeah,
find out.
don't want to find out.
Yeah.
Next photo.
Okay. Vibrate. So I shot this photo so long ago. Um I don't even know how good of a photo it is. Like I was like when I say like this was in like my first year of owning a camera. Um but this photo means like so much to me. This is probably when like my first photo that I ever took that like I really, really just like fell in love with. This is my friend Rain. We we've really been shooting together since like I first started shooting. And like this was like against an empty wall in my apartment at the time. Um she was just doing yoga poses and I shot it. And something about it, like when I was like editing, I don't know, it just felt like super abstract and like surreal. Like her body was just kind of like it was just like this image. Like you don't even know this is like a person. Um uh
Yeah.
yeah, it's just one of my favorite images. And it's like I shot it so long ago. Like I said, like I don't even think I was like now when I'm looking at it now, I see so much like wrong with the image and like wrong with what I did, like editing, and I was like I would reshoot this so much better, but it wouldn't feel the same because it wasn't. It was about this moment in time and just how we connected. Like at my apartment, me just taking photos of her doing yoga, and then
Right.
I turned that into this. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that's a real special thing. Like that first photo of yours that you
yeah,
feel is good,
yeah.
like where things just kind of work, whether it was an accident or you really planned it or however it happens, but kind of
Right.
that like, oh, I did something.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right. So you said you shot with her. You've been shooting with her since the beginning. Is that
Yeah, like if we I'm pretty sure you guys have posted her. Like out of my catalog, like Rain probably takes up 70% of my entire catalog of
yeah?
photography. Just the amount of work we've done throughout the years. So I have so many photos of her, like a ton. So she's like just one of my great friends that I've been shooting with forever.
Nice. Yeah, that relationship that you build over time is it, it's where were you friends? Well, you said you were friends before you started with the photography, or did you meet her through photography?
Oh, we met through social media. I don't know if I was necessarily doing photography yet. Um, I might have just been like doing music at the time.
Yeah.
But we met through like social media. But it was all kind of like I want to say like in the same time frame, same year.
Right. Yeah. So with you from the beginning. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So next photo.
Okay, so this photo was actually taken that same year. Well, maybe like yeah, that same year, like when I first started. Um, and who is this? Ayla? Yeah, this is Ayla. This is my someone I went to high school with. And I was living. I think I was visiting New Jersey for like my mother's birthday or something like that, and I just like connected with one of like my old friends from high school to take some photos. And again, like, this is when I first started shooting, so it's like a lot of stuff in the image is super like amateur to me. Like now looking back at it, but like we were just kind of like vibing, listening to jazz because she's a jazz singer. Um,
Hmm.
um, and I think the exact record that she's holding is the Ella Fitzgerald record. And I actually just remember like always like in school, like feeling like her voice reminded me of Ella Fitzgerald. So that's why I named the photo Ella. Um, but it's just something so like I don't know, beautiful about it, about just like her covering herself up with the record. There were like more records on the floor, um, and like the way like the light is hitting her
Yeah.
coming from the window. Um, this is like one of my favorites too, and it's a super early photo.
Yeah. This is a beautiful photo.
Thank you.
Like this one, you might see this one on the site. So, um, all right. So you said this was that same year around what time frame?
Yeah, like when it's like year wise,
Yeah.
maybe 2015,
Okay.
2015. Wait, I think I started shooting in 2014. So
Yeah.
it may have been 24. I started shooting in 2014, so it was either end of 2014 or beginning of 2015.
And you primarily only shoot people, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
have some like photos of like nature and stuff that I've taken. Um, they just a lot of those photos just kind of sit on my hard drive. When I shoot film, when I'm shooting film, I'm taking photos of just any and everything, street signs and just the
Yeah.
ocean and um just whatever catches my eye.
All right. So that is four down onto the last photo.
Oh, this is a recent photo I took. Not too recent. It was like earlier this year. And I don't love this image. This is Stacy. Um, we met on like social media and just kind of like reached out to me. That she'd be like in Atlanta for a weekend. So we this shoot was just like this photo was just taken at my friend's apartment, and it was kind of like that midday.
Hmm.
Kind of not well like after midday. It was like right before like golden hour. And like she was just like kind of just like doing a lot of different movements on the floor, and just the way the light was hitting her. Um, I just thought was absolutely amazing, and just the way the light is like shining on her, and like the shadows and like her own skin and stuff. This is probably my favorite photo I've taken recently within like the last year. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much just it. I'm probably gonna actually I'm probably do that as soon as we get off this podcast. I'm gonna order some prints of this image. Um, and probably frame it.
Yeah. That'll
Yeah,
be great. It is amazing. Like the light and the shadow, especially like that one bar that kind of
yeah,
positioned right across the face.
yeah.
And so is that how it seems to be that, you you meet people on social media just through kind of reaching out? Is that how you find most of your
Yeah. Um, yeah. Pretty I feel like the way anyone and everyone meets on social media these days. And I
yeah,
think for me, when I started I started doing photography at the like beginning of Instagram, right? Or really before Instagram, because I started on Tumblr. So that was kind of how you met people. I get like clients that reach out to me via like email, like they contact like my website and like book me through there, or like um, word of mouth too. And a lot of people are shot. are people I went to school to college with. So I just kind of met them out
Mhm.
personally. But for the most part, it's been social media.
Okay. And so that's the end of the five photo segment. Do you have any like advice or a message that you might want to give to younger you or a photographer who's starting out kind of in your shoes?
um, I can I can speak to a younger me, and then if it resonates with you know other photographers, um, that's great advice. Um, let's see. So I think for me, it took me so long. Like in general, I was very insecure with my work. You know, um,
Hmm.
I was kind of caught in this in between phase of. I feel like balance is like the most important thing as a creative, right? Not just as a photographer, as a creative in general, of having that balance between um one like constantly like you have to believe in yourself. You have to have like faith in your own work and your own ability, or else no one else is gonna have it. So you have to have that, and then you also have to have the humbleness to keep learning, to never think that you know absolutely everything. There's always more for you to learn. There's always someone from you to learn from, and there's always you can, you know, just always get better at your craft. So I feel like there needs to be a balance between the two, and I think I had such a hard time. Um, I would turn down so many gigs. I've turned down so many opportunities because I felt like I didn't deserve them, or I didn't belong to be in these certain rooms, or I didn't belong to get these certain shoots and these campaigns, or I didn't deserve to get paid this much from this, or that I had like I've gotten booked like hired to do projects and I've done horrible on them because I psyched myself out before I even did it that I wasn't going to do well. Um, so if I speak to like a younger self, and it's like you have to believe in yourself, and like this, like where you want to get in life is going to take longer if you wait for someone else to um believe in you more than you believe in yourself, because they're not going to. You really
Yeah.
have believe that this is what you're here to do and do it, and that that you have the talent to do it. You have to trust your own talent. So that's me speaking to my younger self.
Yeah, no, that's super important is, having faith in your work, but like you said, balancing that with the knowing that, there's always something else you can improve, something else you can learn or do. That's so critical. Yeah. Yeah. And that's definitely going to help other people who are just getting started.
Yeah.
Or, even people like myself who've been doing it for a while, but, trying to move to a new phase.
Right, right, yeah.
All right. So, where can people see more of your work, or are there any projects you have coming up that people can check out?
Hmm. Yes. My Instagram is Spencer underscore Charles. My Twitter is underscore Spencer Charles. I post a lot photos there. I need to post more. I've been slacking. And I have so much content. I get tired of being on social media, but I got a website. My website is the Stuyvesant. That's THE. Oh, I'm about to forget how to spell my own website. The Stuyvesant, TheStuYvesant.com. It's really not that hard. It sounds like I said a lot of letters. No, Stuyvesant is like Bedford Stuyvesant. Like just Google
Right.
Stuyvesant. That's my website. It'll come up. Um,
Yes. I've put it on the screen now for the people.
but that's yeah. I picked that. So I picked that name for the street in Newark, Stuyvesant Ave. That's really what it's named after. Um, and that's kind of Stuyvesant is pretty much my company. So that's what I like I do photography under Spencer Charles, but as far as like events I do, like the art galleries and stuff, is all done by the Stuyvesant, and then like the other projects I have, my other business is done by the Stuyvesant as well. Um,
Okay.
and then projects I have coming up, I'm gonna be in Virginia next month, kind of in 2 weeks for an exhibit
Give the
at the
date.
Well Gallery.
I'm not sure when this is gonna post.
Oh, well, I mean, if if this posts after the exhibit, then it'll be up in Virginia. It'll be up at the gallery for like 2 months. So
Okay.
it's at the Well Gallery in Richmond, Virginia. I'm gonna be have an exhibition there, and they'll have my work up for about 2 months. Um, I do need to plan. I have another exhibit. I need to plan another exhibit in Atlanta because I have a lot of new work that I need to showcase. Before I release this next book, I have a new coffee table book that I finished 2 years ago, and then I never released it, and then I looked back and I didn't like any of the photos in it, so I remade it. But now I like some of the old photos. So now the book was done, now it's not done, and it might be done by the end of this year.
You're a
But
real artist. You just
exactly,
can't decide, huh?
there's another coffee table book coming up, and then exhibits, and um, I have I have some non-photography related projects too, but that's whatever.
You can talk about them here too if you want.
I have a company called Suede, which is it's a lifestyle brand. Started as a fragrance company, so I'm releasing a new fragrance in August, and I guess that's photography work too because I shoot all like my campaigns and stuff. So
Right.
um, I'll be releasing like a short film and um, the whole lookbook with the release of the new fragrance, as well as some other like collabs and projects with it too. So be on the lookout for that. Follow my Instagram as
Right.
well as my the Stuyvesant Instagram as well.
And that's a unisex cologne for
Yeah,
men and women. Yeah. I
yeah,
was checking that out.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, yeah. Send me your address. I'll send you a bottle of the new one. So
Definitely will.
yeah.
Hey there, it's me again. I hope you're enjoying the show. If you are, please be sure to like, subscribe, and rate the show on whatever platform you're using. As a brand new show, your support is critical to our success. At this point, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Unfortunately, we don't have any yet. If you represent a business and would like to help our community of photographers, models, and clients discover your products or services, please contact me at admin@bestinboudoir.com. Okay, let's get back to the discussion. Well, that wraps up our 10 question segment, and we're now into kind of general discussion. And that was one of the things I really wanted to talk to you about is how I see that you're expanding on your website. You have, your playlist. You have the Suede Company with your fragrances. Oh, couldn't pronounce that there for a second. And then the Suede Home Collection, a few products and stuff. Um, how has that gone for you, kind of expanding beyond photography?
It's gone really well. The playlist is, or there's something I've been doing before. Like before doing photography, I was a musician and a DJ. So working with music was kind of like already just there. And then like throughout the years, like since like doing photography, like people have been like asking me to like make playlists for them. So I've been like doing playlists for like years, just like for different friends. And then like for a few like I've done some for like some different like boutiques and some spas. Like I've been getting like paid to like do like put playlists together like for stores. Like when you go in the store, you hear music and stuff. So I would
Oh,
put
neat.
those together for some like just small stores around Atlanta. Um, and then early 2020, I got the opportunity to work with Pandora and be a curator for Pandora. So
Oh,
actually, I make a lot of the playlists I make are stations for Like I make like playlist stations for Pandora. Um,
that's really interesting. I didn't even know that job existed.
I didn't either until my friend called me and was like, "Yo, you wanna?" you want to be a curator for Pandora? I was like, yeah. So I did the whole application. I mean, and it's super cool. I just log on and I just put songs together, and I think that they take the algorithm and like make their stations and stuff too. Um,
Yeah.
but it's really fun. I just love working with music in general. Yeah, so I decided to just kind of like put the playlist out. I actually need to do some more. I've been so busy that I haven't made any recently. Um, but I'll probably before the end of summer, I'll do another playlist. So
Yeah.
working with
Yeah.
that, yeah,
It sounds like you're busy. You do a lot. You have you're doing art shows, you're designing your book, you got the fragrance, and you make the fragrance yourself, right?
yeah. I was actually making candles like right before we got on here. I was making some candles with it, and my hands smell sandalwood. I'm like sitting here like I should have washed my hands before I can because I smell like sandalwood, and it's yeah. I make them all by hand, all myself.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. That, that's really cool that like the different hobbies and how you're able to mix them all together though. It all seems real organic and kind of uh they fit together. Like I have a lot of hobbies, but they're all so random and dispersed. Like, you
Yeah,
know, they just don't go together at all. But for you, it all just seems to blend, which I think is another thing I wanted to talk about with your photography is what really impresses me and I think that I love about your photography is that you know it's both kind of really simple, like you do a lot with not a lot of, there are not a lot of props or even background. Often you're just in like the warehouse look with the blank wall,
mm,
but they're also really powerful and emotive images that you produce.
yeah.
And so I was wondering, like, how is it that uh, you plan your shoots? Like, how planned do you get? How what goes into that?
It really depends on what and who I'm shooting, because
Hmm.
but if it's like completely left to me, um, and like for me to like I don't know, creative direct, I've really just um find a unique space. I just find a space I like with great light and a person that I'm inspired by and just create. And that's really it. There's not much pre-planning other than that. Other than like, all right, cool. This is the location. This is the day. This is the time. Um, cool. And then let's show up and let's do this. There's not much planning outside of that because I try to keep it like you said. I do try to keep it pretty simple, um, and just focus on the vibe between me and the other person, and just allowing that just to create something. As long as I can like play music in there and just great lighting, I'm good. I don't need much else.
And you said before that you're really inspired by the album covers and music. Um, do you do like mood boards? Do you just or do you talk with your models? Like how much input did they have?
Yeah, I do mood boards. Normally before the show, I'll put one together, and I'm just like, all right, cool. This is the feeling I want to invoke. Like, it doesn't. I mean, and I'm like, I just send kind of like inspiration images, and like, I'm like, okay, cool. This is something like, I want to do something that feels like this. It doesn't have to look exactly like this, but like this type of feeling. Um, and then I always ask them like, do you have any ideas? If there's anything you want to do, and then we kind of just put it together. It's always a conversation and a mood board. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
And so, do you work with primarily clients or models that you hire? Like, who makes up the people in your photos?
Recently, it's been clients. I've been booked and exhausted.
That's not a bad problem to have, man.
It's not. Yeah, recently it's been a lot of clients, but um, most of the work that I share for like exhibits and like in books and stuff, and like a lot of the stuff you post. So most of the photos, so the stuff you post, those
Mhm.
are friends of mine. Um, I don't even know if I shoot. I don't even know if I shoot like models, like because I'm not like contacting agencies. I mean, I shoot models. No, a lot of people I shoot are models. But they're not like I'm not contacting agencies. I'm not like a lot of times I do get booked to shoot models, and sometimes there are like different collaborations. But I think some of the best shoots I have, and like definitely all of the ones you've posted, are those are just my friends. Like some of them are friends from college. Um, some of them are just like just friends of mine. So and we
Yeah,
just can just create together.
that's great. And so, when did you move? Like, first, you have an amazing set of friends, very talented, sounds like, and creative, and uh, also willing to kind of create with you. That's amazing. Did Is that a community that you always had? Was it something you had in New Jersey and had to recreate in Atlanta, or was it just something you discovered in Atlanta?
That's definitely something I discovered in Atlanta, and it's one of the reasons why I stay in Atlanta. Jersey um, was I moved to Atlanta for college. So after high school, I came to Atlanta like my freshman year, um, and I just met people from all over the world on campus. And then outside of being on campus, I started to kind of just like get into the Atlanta creative scene. Um,
Hmm.
this time I was when I was writing and I was doing music, just like meeting different artists and dancers and just people from all over the place that did different things in Atlanta. That was definitely created here, like during the super hipster days. Um, I don't know, like 2012 to 2015. Yeah,
Hmm.
2011, 2015. Yeah, those is definitely created here.
Yeah, and you just in the scene. These are the folks you kind of gravitated towards and worked out.
Um, yeah, for the most part. I mean, well, no, because that I think um it's changed a lot. Because a lot of the some of them are people I just I've met through social media too. It wasn't always just then. Some of it's more recent, but it's always just been an appreciation for art and like each other's like art. But yeah, I've met like just like just Atlanta's just a great place to be a black creative.
Yeah.
Um, no matter what type of creative. I don't care if you do like music or you're a dancer or you're a writer or you a sculptor or some shit like that. It doesn't matter. Atlanta's a great place for black creatives. So um, the network down here is super dope.
Nice. And so you're uh, through all your projects, the fragrance, the home collection, the photography, and everything else. That's your full time gig. You support yourself with your creative work.
Uh, I have a job as well. Um, it's not really a 9 to 5, but it's a 9 to 5. Um, urban fashion or retail. I'm an
Okay.
assistant at a luxury retail store. Um, so I do that because I love fashion is probably a love of mine as well.
Yeah.
Um, especially with suede, that's the direction I'm going in next. But yeah, that job and then all the creative stuff too. So no sleep, but still,
Yeah. It doesn't sound like it.
no, very tired.
And so You said that you're going to be debuting your photos in a gallery or an art exhibit that you're going to be posting, right? Is that your typical method? Like, how do you release photos?
Yeah. Um, I just post shit on Instagram. I'll be like, oh, all right. I don't know how to like formally. I have, I have so much. That's why I have so much unreleased work. Like my hard drives are just full of photos that people just really haven't seen yet, and I don't know what to do with them because I really don't know how. I don't know how I'm supposed to like release them or like other than post them on Instagram. And I'm like, wait, this I don't really want to post this. So I mean, stuff may get posted and then like it gets lost down the timeline. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I like doing the coffee table books for like people to have something like tangible to like, take away and keep, So a
And you
lot.
can
Yeah,
post. Sorry, but you can post your work kind of the way you want it. Like, I, I don't know. You may have noticed that we've been dealing with the issues with Instagram, having to edit your work. Also, even just like work that doesn't violate the terms of service getting flagged.
yeah, they be tripping. They I don't know. They be doing some wash. They trip.
Yeah,
I censor everything. If it looked like I'm like that looks like a nipple. I'm really I don't know. I censor everything because
yeah,
I don't got time to play with Instagram. They be sending you them community guidelines. And I'm like, get off my phone. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to.
Before our, I guess for informational, we run the Best in Boudoir and the Everyday Boudoir, and the Everyday Boudoir got deleted 2 or 3 weeks ago and had to start over. And we would get hit with those community guideline notices at least once a day, which is crazy because every photo I post has already been on Instagram for weeks by the time I post it.
Yeah, crazy.
Uh, yeah, and I would dispute them, and then they would repost them, and hand me a sorry, but then they go ahead and delete the account anyway. I'm
Yeah,
not bitter. I'm just complaining. Uh, moving on. Uh, so with your art galleries and the photo books, and you said you don't. I don't know what you mean. Like you feel like you want to release them other ways, like
yeah. Like I don't know the most like elegant way to like release the work. I feel like artists like I don't know. Am I supposed to have more exhibits like just more often for like or like I'm like go look at just put this like I should be putting like more work on my website and just like directing people there like but I don't know. I just kind of just post. I got new photos. I'll post them on Instagram eventually, or
yeah.
we'll see them eventually. But there's a ton of work just on my hard drive, just unreleased.
And now art is. Do you have like client work that you keep unreleased? Private
Yeah,
work, and then
always. So I
that's
tell
never going to be released, and then there's
no,
the just stuff that just hasn't made it out.
yeah, it's stuff that just hasn't made it out. Now there is a lot of client work. So like I do tell like clients like I'm like once I get the photos back to them, I'm like, I'm not gonna share anything until you do. So it's like normally like I do a shoot like some like they booked me for a shoot. All right, cool. These are your photos. So like if you're cool with me, like I know I can post them on my Instagram once you do. So it's like when you post them and stuff, then a lot of them like hit me up like how come you never posted my photos? I'm like, "Come post your photos. I love this photo, but I've been waiting for you to post it so I could because I didn't know which one you were cool with
Yeah,
me. So it's a lot of that,
yeah.
but
What has the pandemic been like for you? How has that impacted what you do and the way you're able to kind of conduct your shoots?
um, it didn't. It wasn't a negative impact creatively. Um, one because I had time to like sit home and create.
Yeah.
Like it was beautiful, and I got sleep, and I had time, and it was great. And that was when I kind of started the home collect. I started the Suede home collection because we were on quarantine, and I was like, "Ain't nobody buying cologne to go out. We outside is closed. Nobody's buying fragrances." So I made candles and pillows because
Yeah.
people were at home. Um, but other than that, like photography wise, it was cool. Just having like a clear mind to create with. Um, in terms of like interacting with people, um, of course, it was always that like, okay, I mean, I stand pretty much 6 feet apart anyway, but it was just kind of like that. Oh, this is me not make sure. Did you put hand sanitizer on? Like it was kind of awkward. Being in the studio with like people while COVID is going on. But it was fine. I got booked for a lot of stuff. I mean, people had stimulus checks and they were home bored, so everyone just booked me for shoots. So it was
Yeah.
great. I was happy. It was cool. Nah, emotionally, COVID did a lot. I think, like creatively and like professionally, I did really well during COVID. Emotionally, it was just a lot. I lost some family members, some friends.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. And then I was just like stuck. And while I was like happy to be at home, I was like stuck at home, like and going crazy. So I don't know. It was just it kind of had my anxiety through the roof. But but for the most part, it was I made it through. I made it through 2020. Like
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Survived.
I survived, but it was good. But yeah, no, like I think professionally, at least financially, I did probably the best I did professionally, like photography wise. I got booked for my biggest projects and a lot throughout the pandemic and this year too.
Nice. That's great. Like you said, it was hard in some ways, but it's great that something good came out of it on the other side.
Yeah,
And it forced you to kind of sounds like slow down and get some of that time back.
it did.
Uh,
It did. I'm
so
looking
like
again.
before COVID, and I'd imagine ramping up now. Like how often do you shoot? Like, is this an everyday thing or once a week?
At one point, it was an everyday thing. It was like all right, I was shooting every day, and it wasn't all like paid shoot. A lot of them were just like I just wanted to create every day. Um,
Hmm.
so I was uh, not so much now because I have so much else going on. I don't shoot every day. It's definitely at the least once a week though. I'm still shooting a lot.
Yeah.
Um, it's just now it's a lot more clients. It's not always stuff I want to shoot. It's not always like like the stuff that I'm gonna like post on my page, like that I just do for fun. Um, but I'm definitely shooting at the least once a week. Most weeks more than that, but I had to shoot this morning.
Oh yeah.
What's today? Today's Sunday.
Yes.
I had it, and I had one Friday. I had to shoot this morning. Last shoot Friday. Last week I did mad shoots. Last week was crazy. I got so much stuff to edit when we get off this call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your editing process like? What's your flow?
Um, some either music or something on Netflix. Um, marijuana and Lightroom. Uh, is pretty much it.
Do you have a go-to presets that you use, or are you
I
just
don't.
every time it's different?
Every time is different. I don't use presets, and I should use presets. People keep telling me to do presets. Um, I don't. I just every time I just kind of just sit there and I just stare at the image and play around with it. I should use presets. I don't know why I'm not, but yeah.
And so how do you choose? Like I'm always curious about like because the other thing I've noticed is that you do a good job of, although you have multiples from a set, like you you can narrow down to like the shot.
Yeah.
You seem to
It,
have a knack for picking one or two.
it takes a very long time. A very long time to narrow it down. Like
Yeah.
to the point where I end up editing so many photos because before editing I couldn't figure out which one, and then while I'm editing, I'm drawn to one more than I was
Hmm.
the other one, and so like I was like, okay, this is the image. Then I could start getting rid of those. It's just a long process of just staring at photos.
All right. And so now I have some questions for the gearheads. Like, what do you shoot with? What's your camera?
I have a Nikon D600. That's my main camera that I shoot with. I also have a Canon 5D that I use depending on mostly for video though, but
Yeah.
something I may shoot with that as well. But for the most part, I'm a Nikon. I do have a Canon AE uh, one that I do film photos with when I'm shooting film.
Go to lens.
50 millimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like moving around. Just
Okay. And you said natural light, so but you're moving now. Is this like a move towards studio lighting or just you're experimenting with it?
experimenting. I'm not moving towards it. It's literally just um experimenting. Actually, the shoot I had Friday was because the look the client wanted to do, I needed studio lighting for, and
Right.
I was just like, oh, I like this a lot. Um, so yeah, that's just it.
And do you have your own studio? Do you rent? Do you bounce around?
For the most part, bounce around. I have a set location that I shoot at. It's not my studio, but it's a space I work out of. My friend Bree owns the space, and it's hers, like her boutique, and I just kind of I help her kind of do stuff there, so I shoot there all the time.
And so then you said Lightroom. Do you do all your edits in Lightroom? Do you use Photoshop or
I
just
prefer
as
like
needed?
as needed. I
Yeah.
prefer Lightroom, but I use Photoshop as needed if what I'm doing requires Photoshop. But if I can get it done in Lightroom, I'm gonna do it in Lightroom.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Photoshop that's a time investment,
It
especially
is
if you're going through a lot of photos.
exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah. How much do you shoot? Are you a heavy button clicker? Or?
I just click, just click. It's like 600 photos, and I'm like, why did I do that? Oh my god, so many photos.
See, that's not even a lot to me. I got started like because I'm completely self-taught, and I would just like take thousands of photos on a weekend, and then I'm trying to slow myself down now. But,
Yeah,
so 600, that's a respectable number. But how long are your shoots going?
not long. Like I got the 600 quick.
Oh,
Like, quick.
like 630 minutes.
Maybe an hour, maybe an
Okay,
hour.
yeah. So you'd be on pace if they were running long.
Yeah,
Do you keep short shoots for a particular reason, or you just
I don't think it needs much. Like I'm not like changing the light, and then we're not like doing crazy work. Like you got no clothes on. I don't need that. What you go change. Like it don't take that much. Like no, the longest they know they're normally like 2 hours. 2 hours is like my max, especially if I'm like getting booked for something. I tell them, all right, cool. This price is for a 2 hour shoot.
yeah?
But my attention span is not that long. I don't want to shoot for more than 2 hours.
Yeah, so like no wardrobe changes. It's just like we have our one concept and we're doing it. When we
No,
get it, we're
I
good.
do wardrobe changes. I think I don't do makeup. Like I'm like, yo, whatever makeup you get done before this, we're not like you don't need to change makeup. That'll take forever. But like I'll change it. I'll do wardrobe changes, but it just doesn't take me long.
Other thing I think is just, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Did you want to talk about your new coffee table book or any of your projects you have coming out?
No, no,
No.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know when the book will be out. I just hold me to it. Just make sure I do it. I don't. But
All
I
right.
don't.
Check back in.
Yeah, check back in and just make sure that I'm like making progress on it because it's like it's essentially done, but I don't think it's done. So, um, yeah, I don't want to give any details on it because I don't know when it's coming out or nothing. Um, I might change the title. So, um, but it's a book done. It's just I don't know. No, I'm not changing the title. I think I like what I got. No,
All
there's
right.
nothing else. There's nothing else I want to talk about though.
Last two questions are, do you have any favorite creatives, any of your favorite, either don't have to be photographers, just people whose work you're enjoying at the moment?
Um, at the moment, um, Joshua Kissy. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his last name. He's a photographer from the Bronx. Um, he used to have this. He used to have a blog called Street Etiquette.
Hmm.
And when I was in college and like having like the blog scene, he was just like I was like, oh, this is the greatest guy ever. This like it was like a fashion blog. I just thought it was so dope. And he's transitioned from that to um, being an art director and a photographer. He worked with Beyonce on Black is King visual. Um,
Uh,
I've met him maybe twice, once or twice. But he's probably at the moment my biggest inspiration visually or creatively that I could that's the first thing comes to mind.
all right. And so then my very last question is that the Best in Boudoir podcast is really aimed at all the creatives and the people who make the images that we love. So you're part of my target audience, and I was wondering, what kind of questions would you want me to ask your favorite photographer or any of the other photographers or models or you know people involved in this scene when I get them on the show?
I think your questions were great. I don't know if I would change anything. It's kind of just like a cool conversation. I like interviews that just kind of like seem like conversations and like just like regular questions and stuff. Um, but yeah, I think the questions you had were great.
Alrighty. Well, thank you again, Spencer Charles. Again, I want to say that you do amazing work. You've inspired me in my personal photography. I appreciate you letting us post your photos so often. If you ever get tired of it, just tell us to knock it off.
No.
Uh, please don't do that. And continue making the great work that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's all for this episode of Best in Boudoir podcast. Thank you again for joining us. Please remember to like, subscribe, and give us 5 stars on every platform you find us on. We need your help to grow our community. This is the Best in Boudoir podcast. I'm Jamal Williams. Keep on creating.